Hey everybody, welcome to JLB Sports TV. I am Justin Block, and the transfer window has officially closed yesterday, but I want to talk about what happened the day before the deadline day, just for a moment. So Jay Spearian left to Bolton for a £3 million fee. I thought, fine, great. Fine with me. He's a squad player, nothing more, nothing less. But the big move that day was Andy Carroll leaving on loan to West Ham for a £1 million loan fee, and West Ham is covering all of his £80,000 per week wages. Now, that was a move that actually excited most of the fan base, even though myself and many of the fans actually still support Andy Carroll, and even back as far as July, I made a video vouching for Andy Carroll, saying he should stay at Liverpool. But back then, that was only when West Ham came in with the first, I believe, £18 million bid, and I thought it was totally premature for Rodgers to even consider that bid. Andy Carroll had only been back in training for about a week, and I felt that Andy Carroll needed at least a month in training, in matches, to prove to Brendan Rodgers that he could or could not play with him. Brendan Rodgers felt that Andy Carroll would not fit in the side this year, and eyes were set on another striker. Charlie Adam was also sent out. I believe Liverpool sold him for about £5 million. So again, more transfer fees, more room in the budget apparently. So the deadline day came, and Liverpool were apparently either in for Daniel Sturridge, striker from Chelsea, or Clint Dempsey. And I thought Clint Dempsey was the most likely. Liverpool had been rumored to be linked to him for months, and I thought, hey, that's the guy that they're going to bring in, and I was supporting it. As an American, nothing would make me prouder than to see the United States, arguably their best player, in red for Liverpool. I thought all along the strategy for actually pursuing Clint Dempsey wasn't that bad. It was similar to what I saw with Dwight Howard and the Lakers earlier this year, which is when the team shows initial interest in the beginning, the price is quoted as too high, they pretend like they don't want him for a couple months, and then at the very last minute they swoop in for a cut rate deal. Essentially, that's what Liverpool did, except the cut rate, which is about £6 to £7 million that Fulham wanted for Dempsey, was still about £2 million higher than Liverpool were actually willing to pay. It's sad that only £2 million was the difference between Liverpool having Clint Dempsey and them not having Clint Dempsey. And you would think that with the new owners, the fact that they do have some money they'd be willing to spend, and they just weren't. Clearly somebody messed up, because when they sold Andy Carroll, everybody was thinking, hey, since they're bringing out a striker, they're going to bring in another striker, because Adam Morgan, no way in hell is he going to be our third striker, right? Wrong. Adam Morgan is now our third striker because somebody messed up. Liverpool were essentially caught with their tail between their legs, and it was a gross case of transfer deadline mismanagement. But I also want to say that Clint Dempsey was actually not the finisher that Liverpool needed. They need a finisher badly, and Clint Dempsey's chance conversion rate last year was actually just as bad as Luis Suarez's. Clint Dempsey is a bulk shooter who needs a lot of chances to score goals. With those three up front, they'd be held absolutely marked for a back four, and I thought they had worked very well tactically, but once again, they were not the finishing pair that Liverpool needed. Now, as a Liverpool fan, it's pretty disappointing because striker has been a position of need for Liverpool ever since Torres signed. It's always been, oh, who's going to be the second striker? Who's going to be the second option? And 4 managers, 2 owners, and many years later, there is still no legitimate second option to put the balls in the back of the net. Unless you want to count Fabio Borini, but we still really don't know what we have with him yet. Now, I saw on my timeline there were a lot of hate towards the owners, towards FSG, saying, why did they just pay the extra $2 million per Dempsey? They're pocketing all the money, they're take the money and run this just to be like the last owners. And no, that's not what they want to do. They just want to have a balanced budget. We've seen this summer that Liverpool have actually spent £21 million more in transfer fees than they've brought in, but they've also cut about £17 million in the wage. So salaries are lower, but Liverpool are still spending the transfer fees that you expect them to spend, except in this one case with Dempsey, of course. It's clear that FSG aren't going to sacrifice their long-term vision just to bring in Clint Dempsey. They want to have an organic growth, something sustainable, so that when Liverpool spend, they're not spending debt, they're not spending out of pocket, they're only spending what they make. Liverpool are essentially banking on a future that will have financial fair play in. So that's a long-term strategy that Liverpool are committed to right now, one that I'm in favor of. I'm never in favor of deficit spending or debt spending, and it's clear that Liverpool and these owners aren't going to be like Man City. They're not Chelsea. They're not going to spend out of pocket. They're not going to spend all these huge sums of money to pump up the squad now. But that's also a problem for the short term. When you're not doing that, you're risking not having Champions League places. And when you don't have Champions League, you will eventually suffer long term. You won't get the players that you need because you won't have Champions League football. Because you don't have Champions League football, you won't have enough money that you need to go after those players. So in the short term, it hurts. I do think that Liverpool still had a great summer. They got rid of 4 borderline squad players, borderline starting 11 players, and brought in 3 surefire starters. So to me, this was a great summer. They also cut the wage bill significantly. So I'm not going to let this one mishap ruin what was otherwise a great summer for Liverpool. So in no way am I condoning what happened yesterday. Clearly somebody just straight up fucked up. What was really concerning to me is that if Dempsey was plan A and Sturridge was plan B, or one of those two, if those were your 2 first options for yesterday and you couldn't get either of them, where was plan C, D, E, F, and G? Where were they? Because it didn't seem like Liverpool had any backup options if those were to fall through. When Andrew Carroll's leaving and Adam Morgan is about to be your third striker, you have to have a backup option for your other targets, and Liverpool seemingly did not have that. That was very worrisome for me, and I think somebody's going to lose their job because of that. So that's all for today of JLB Sports TV. I am Justin Block. We are prepared to have Adam Morgan be our third striker. I'm not going to dwell on what happened yesterday. We still have an entire season to look forward to. I do think that Liverpool have made improvements in the squad to have an outside shot of 4th place today. On the website today, I released an EPL season preview column. I predict Liverpool would finish 5th. Check out the website for that column, and YMWA, guys. Although I am at college, I will still be bringing you content. JLBsports.tv will still be publishing articles multiple times a week, and we're still bringing you the videos that you guys love. So now I want to answer a couple questions from Fan Friday. I know we missed it last week.